the Boyz podcast. We're here for episode 2, and we want to bring you guys something special. So we're thinking about listing off our top 5 personal video games of all time.
Yeah,
Um,
and for anyone listening or who's gonna listen at some point, please in the comments put your top five.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
there's no right or wrong answer to this. It's whatever appeals to you. So don't feel embarrassed about it. Just put your top five, and we'd love to see them.
Speaking of that, Chris, what exactly do you see? Like how do you pick your top 5? Like, what's your criteria for your choices? Is it your like most played games or?
Yeah, well, I really don't look at critical reviews or whatever people talk about or say about video games. It's all
Yeah,
personal preference for me. But my list, when I was picking them, was based on nostalgia for me.
right.
Early memories and playback. Is it a game that I can go back and play back continuously every year? I can pick up the controller and put it in and enjoy it the same as I did when I first, popped it into the system. That's how I picked mine. It was difficult to pick it because my top three are a lock. They've always been a lock for the last, you know, 10 years or whatever you want to say. But
Right.
from four to 15 was difficult because
Yeah.
I loved them all. It was just trying to put them into what was more nostalgic than what I can go back today and still play it and still enjoy it. So that's
Right.
how I came up with my list. What about you? You followed probably around the same criteria, I would think.
Yeah, yeah, pretty similar. Like I tried not to like I try to stray away from just choosing games based on like what is generally considered like all-time great games. Like I love like Ocarina of Time and GoldenEye and stuff, but and I kept feeling weird like I kept trying to force it into my list, but I realized like I'm just trying to satisfy like people's general uh
Mhm.
thoughts on video games and like not really my own taste. So I try to be very honest with like stuff I played a ton and like you said went back to year after year and could play over a long period of time. Stuff that's
Exactly.
timeless. Timeless was the main thing, I guess.
For sure, man. For sure.
Well, we should kick it off. We'll start off with it's your number 5.
My number five, this was tough because there's so many games that I had to pass up to put it here. Um, it's a game that was released in 2018. I thought it
Ooh,
should have won. I thought it should have won Game of the Year. It is my Game of the Year, and that is Red Dead Redemption 2.
ooh, that's a
That
good
comes
one.
in. That comes in at number five for me. The game that beat it for Game of the Year was God of War. I also played that the same year and beat
Oh,
it. They're
yeah.
both good.
I never played those God of War games, but they look awesome.
They're both good games, but I don't know how it beat out Red Dead. Red, Red
Yeah,
Dead Red Dead is just poetry in motion. It's art. It's just a beautiful game. Honestly, when I first started it out and I was playing it, it was very slow. The first level when I'm going through the winter stage, and I was like, "What
yeah.
the fuck am I playing?" Because like it wasn't what I remembered in Red Dead Redemption, right?
Right from the first one. Very different setting to start
Yeah.
off, especially.
And to me, it was a complete surprise because when I heard it was coming out, that's as far as I go. I don't read into it. I don't look at
Right.
other reviews because I want it to be a surprise when I put it in the console. So I didn't even know it was going to be a prequel. I had no idea it was
Oh,
a
is that
prequel.
right? Eh?
Yeah, I had no idea because I never read into it. I just said, "Oh, it's coming out." I pre-ordered it on the system and then I just waited months until it was ready to come out. But,
Right.
you
Right.
know, that game endless hours. You can put in endless hours and still find cool and interesting things to do. The story mode really brings you in emotionally. You can change your character's looks, upgrades, horse designs, beautiful landscape, open world. It's amazing, man. It's really a gem. And I'm telling you, man, the games I had to pass up to put it there in the top five. That's why we did top five instead of top 10 because
Yeah.
it's easier to make a top 10. But
Absolutely.
I can play this game every year. I can sit down, put in an hour or two, and it's still amazing to me. Just the things I can do. in this game.
Yeah.
It should have won Game of the Year. It didn't. I don't know how, but Rockstar just makes fantastic games. GTA 5 is still going on, and they still have updates to it to this day. Like
Oh yeah.
it's
They put
insane.
detail into their game. Like their games are super
Yeah,
detailed. There's a lot of time into it. There's no half-assing it, releasing it early. Like they take their time, make sure it's perfect
yeah,
before they release it. One of the most Red Dead's one of the most Red Dead 2 is one of the most beautiful games I've ever played. Like aesthetically,
yeah,
it's just gorgeous.
yeah.
And
And
man, you could
the story mode,
I'm
it just drags you in. It
and the
drags you in. You just
characters,
want to keep
all of
playing.
them are great characters, all flushed out. There's all lots of missions for every character. Even if you don't play the plot, it's like I could
Yeah,
literally spend hours of that game just hunting and gathering items and
yeah.
like I so immersive, such an
Like
immersive game.
we talk about Rockstar and like how good this game is. You can kill an animal and come back 3 days later. The animal is still there, but it's just a skeleton.
Yeah,
Like the detail is just amazing. It really is.
unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful game. So that game, Red Dead Redemption 2, falls in my category top 5 game of all time. I'm interested to
Awesome.
hear your list. I'm interested to hear your list here. So let me
Yeah,
give me give me your top 5.
okay, I think some things in my top five will surprise you, and other things I think will be obvious to you, knowing me. But my number five, I don't know if you'll guess this one. I know you know I like this game, but this is one where it didn't feel right putting it in my top five at all because I feel like there's very few people on earth that would have this in their top five. But I've played this a million times throughout the years. I played it with a million different people. My number five would be Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1.
No, that's a great game though.
I love that game personally because everything with Marvel these days, I'm a huge Marvel guy, but I don't really like the MCU.
Yeah,
Everything out there, the comics is MCU, and it's like because that game predated like the first Avengers movie, like it's all the materials based around the comics. It's like you can see all the settings. You can go to Asgard, see the Shi'ar Empire. You go to Murder World, like Castle Von Doom, like all the settings, all the villains, all the characters is awesome. I just played that game a million times with every combination of heroes you could think of and different costumes and the
yeah,
detail. Just like I'll try to like play every level with a different character so I could hear every special Easter egg dialogue between villains and heroes and stuff. But
yeah. That
yeah,
game is amazing. I remember playing
oh,
that long time ago, and I used to just run through it all the time and get the new outfits, and then it just changes
yeah,
the whole dynamic of what the character looks
exactly.
like. That's a good choice. I don't know, like you said, I don't know if a lot of people have that in their top 5 though.
Top five, probably maybe top 25 or something like
Yeah,
that. But I feel like very few people have that in my top. I just find myself going back. I played that game on like I've been playing that game since what I think it came out in 2007, 2008 on the
yeah,
360 or something. Maybe even before
yeah.
that. Actually. Man, I still
That
have that on my Xbox One. I've never deleted that off my Xbox One since day one.
yeah, and I believe that game had well over 1 million buys easy.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
and it was when I remember buying it and you knew it was a safe buy because you'd already played the X-Men Legends game, so you knew
yeah,
exactly what to expect of the gameplay. And it was just going to give you that with more characters, more settings. Like,
yeah. I know because I was a little late getting a 360. I think it came in my bundle. So
yeah.
like when I bought the
Oh, is that right?
360,
That
yeah,
same here
it,
actually
it came
with
with
Forza,
Ultimate
right? With
Alliance.
Forza.
Yeah, and Forza and Ultimate Alliance or something like that. I don't remember because it was such a long time ago. But
Yeah,
that's
that's
actually a
my
really good choice.
that's my
That's a
first
good game.
memory of 360 because my older brother Jimmy, Jimmy, he got it first. And I remember visiting him in college, and that was the first game I ever played on 360. That Ultimate Alliance.
That's
So
a good
yeah,
game,
so that's
man.
my number five.
That's a good choice, man. That's a good choice. Well,
All right, we'll
coming
toss
in,
it back to you for your number four.
yeah, coming in at number 4. Oh, what can I say about this game? Endless hours. Endless hours in this game. Honestly, I think it's the best in the series for me, personally. And number 4 comes Halo 3.
Ooh, Halo 3.
Halo 3, buddy. The endless hours I put in that game in the story mode and then in online.
And online as well, yeah.
That online was insane. They were
Yeah,
like, I
yeah,
know Call of Duty was really big at that time. I know it still is, but the online of Halo 3, phenomenal.
yeah, yeah. I remember playing a lot of
Phenomenal.
that too.
Even the story mode was good. And what's different about the gaming now compared to them, then we could do split screen story mode. No games
Mhm.
now really have that. If
No,
my wife wants to play a game, your wife wants to play a game, and there's no two-player, co-op split story modes. And Halo had that. So if you were just sitting there with your girlfriend or your brother and you both wanted to play it and you didn't want to play online, you could just jump right into the story mode and you
yeah.
could still find the crystal skull. You could just do so much in it.
And
And then you had
correct me if I'm wrong, but would it would even adjust difficulty for having multiplayer, right? Like it would get harder, so
yeah,
you wouldn't
yeah, 'cause you
overpower
would
by having extra guns. So
you would level up, right?
yeah,
And then it would get harder. I remember I was playing it as a guest online for months before I even
right,
got my own profile. So I was already really good. So by the time I
right.
got my profile, I started doing I started playing online and I was just running through people because
Stack those stacks.
yeah, well, my level was low, but like I had played it for so long, so I went up the rankings really quick in that game.
Right,
But
right.
also in that game, you could create your own level. So I spent hours making my
Forgot.
own levels. Yeah, and then you could invite people to play on it. Um,
I forgot
Halo
about that.
3,
I was thinking Reach was the first one like that. I didn't.
yeah, Halo 3 was amazing, man. And even going back to Halo 2 and the first Halo, we used to do you remember System Link?
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, we used to everyone used to come into my house in the summertime and we would have four guys downstairs and then one of our buddies would bring a tube TV over and they would go upstairs
TV.
and, and we would system link it so we would have eight people going at the same time and
Oh man, that's awesome.
that was a that was a summertime ritual.
Yeah,
Like,
I bet your parents love that.
no, well, remember they were never home, right? So that's why everyone always came to my house and we just tore it up,
Yeah,
right? But
because we were
that
latchkey kids.
yeah, for sure. Number four comes in Halo 3. Like
Excellent choice.
just my memories of playing that game. And the reason I stopped playing Halo, this is true, because my older brother would play Halo all the time.
Right.
So he would remember my neighbor, my parents' neighbor Jason,
Oh yes, yes, yes. I do remember
the
him.
bigger guy. Yeah, so he used to come over when I was at school and use my profile. And
Right.
he was so bad that he ruined my kill death ratio. So so I was so embarrassed that I never played Halo
You
again.
just didn't play anymore.
No, I stopped playing online altogether after that, man. After my kill death ratio was bad and I seen what he was
uh,
doing, I was like, "Oh no, I'm done
that,
playing. I'm done playing." So that was
that
the
is a
end of
pretty.
my Halo 3.
That is like the like an ultimate gamer foul, isn't it? Like screwing up someone's kill death. Like
Yeah,
for a lot of people, that's a reason to defriend someone. I think.
he ruined it bad, man. So I couldn't even play it anymore. It was
I couldn't ace in Halo 3.
yeah, he ruined it so much, man. I couldn't even fucking play it anymore. So that was it. I stopped playing Halo 3.
See, I've never been good enough at any game to worry about my kill death online. So it's I usually the guy ruining people's kill. I remember going over to Kyle's house and ruining his kill death in all of his games: Halo, Call of Duty, the whole thing.
Yeah. I like it's funny with that too. Like then I started playing Call of Duty a little bit and I was playing on my brother's profile because I wasn't big in the Call of Duty, but my brother had gotten every single gun gold and everything. And I remember I got
Right.
killed and on the microphone, some guy's like, he's got a gold AK. He's got a gold AK.
You could
Like,
just pick it up and take it.
yeah, yeah. Like my brother had everything gold and whatever have you in it.
So wait, you just lose it? See, I'm not averse in Call of Duty at all.
Yeah, like when you die, your weapon drops, right? So you can use it as the other player or whoever picks it up.
You
So
don't
yeah,
get it back. It's the guy that died. It's gone.
yeah, no, you respond with it, I think.
Oh, okay.
I,
I was gonna say,
I can't
holy hell.
again, I don't remember. I'm not a big Call of Duty online player. Like
Yeah,
It,
it was. I was never able to. I was late to the party. This is those games like you're late to the party and then you just have no chance. It was the same deal with like Fortnite. People were like, "Do you play Fortnite?" Like, well, I didn't play the first 6 months, so I'm not really interested in just going on and losing over and over again. Like,
yeah, like even with online nowadays, it's so much different than, when we were growing up or like early on because when I'm assuming you've gotten Skyrim online.
oh, I played it. Yeah, I don't have it at the moment, but
Yeah.
I have. Yeah,
So I was figuring, Skyrim online, I got into Dungeons and Dragons Neverwinter. And when I was
right.
playing it, I'm like, it's an MMO. People are gonna join up and we're gonna play the game together. I would
Right.
go to so many players and they would just not want to play. No, everyone wants to do everything by themselves now. No one wants to team up, no one wants to play.
Oh,
It's an
it's like,
online it's an MMO. You
yeah,
we it's you're supposed to team up, meet new people, and play, but people just don't like to play it like that anymore, man. So
yeah,
online gaming it's not something I do anymore like I used to.
yeah.
I like to just play my single player open world games now. But
That's
yeah,
how you
number
know
four.
me. I was always like the anti-online game guy. I was always like the grandpa in high school, like online games is destroying video games.
But yeah, man, Halo 3 comes in at my number 4, man, all time. Just the
Another
nostalgia and
excellent
memories of that.
Those are
Okay,
two great titles you got so far.
let me hear you, man. Let me hear number 4.
Okay, my number four. My number four, another game again on my list. I think this one be a little bit more popular than my Ultimate Alliance pick, but still probably not in a lot of people's top five. But my number four, another game that I've played a million times throughout the years of my life, Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Oh,
Yes.
I had a feeling you were gonna throw a Star Wars game in there. I
That's
don't
it.
wanna say the one I think it is because it might
Thinking,
still
I
come up.
know you were thinking I was going to say Knights of the Old Republic, right?
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
thought.
and to be honest, it's really hard to put Battlefront and not Knights of the Republic. But as great of a game as Knights of the Republic is, I'll be playing Battlefront till I die, probably. I just never had a. I'm not like it's the only like shooter I've ever played where like I can like give somebody a controller that's like never played video games and they can just pick it up, play it, and be decent, and then have a good time. Like it's just a
Yeah,
very accessible game and an enjoyable game. Like the
yeah, it
amount of
is.
times I've conquered the galaxy with
Yeah,
any number of friends, like
that
it's
is
unreal.
that is a really, really, really fun game though.
Yeah, even the slightly underrated, like the campaign was even okay, like for a game that really wasn't based around a campaign at all. Like I
Yeah,
even remember
no,
the PSP port was pretty decent. Kyle had the PSP port. I remember playing that; it was pretty decent too.
what's funny? The two games you named so far, like you remember when we tried to buy those back? They were like 60, $70. And that was like what, like 8 years ago? Like they were expensive
That,
hard
yeah.
games to buy back.
Yeah, with Ultimate Alliance, I think the regular one is inexpensive. It's the gold one where you get the DLC guys that you can't get anymore.
Yeah.
That's the expensive one. But yeah, with Battlefront, I would think that that would be a game a lot of people want to get their hands on, especially before there was a time period where you couldn't get it digitally on like
Yeah.
Xbox Market or whatever. So the only way to get it was to get your hands on a disc. And yeah, I think a lot of people played that game when it came out, and I think a lot of people have nostalgia for it.
Yeah, that like you said, man, that game is good. I actually forgot about that game until you mentioned it. Now
Yeah,
now
I
I
love
want
that game.
now I want to go
Oh,
play it. Now I want to go
oh,
play it.
Conquer the Galaxy. I know. I don't know, but maybe the online server might work for it. I don't know. On Xbox, I have no, a lot of those
Yeah.
games that they brought up have online servers. I think those older games.
Yeah, some of them still do have the online server on. It might be on, I don't know for console gaming, but for PC. I could see
PC,
it being on there for PC.
yeah, that's a game too. I mean, if I was on PC, I could imagine it would be a pretty cool game for like mods. Maybe I've never seen any, but I could imagine you could use those like physics and put all kinds of skins on it, change it into any kind of
Yeah,
game. Like
you
it
could,
was
yeah.
that was an excellent game though. Like the combat, the flight. I remember because I loved the first game, and that was the big thing when they dropped the second one was the space combat where you could fly the ships, bomb their big like star destroyers, and oh, and the heroes too. I don't think they had heroes in the first game.
Um, Man, I don't even remember. I don't even
Yeah, that was a
remember,
long
man.
time ago. That's original Xbox, I believe that
Yeah,
came out. I played that on. I don't know if it came out on PlayStation 2 at the same time, but yeah, yeah.
probably roughly around the same time. No, I forgot about that game. You're hitting home with the classic ones, the classic
Yeah,
Xbox.
I'm still playing that game. Like both those games I named, still they're both on my hard drive on my Xbox to this day.
Well, what are we at? Number three now?
Yeah, top three now. Okay,
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna start doing drum rolls for each one now. Since we're in the top three, we're getting to the big ones.
Top three. I
Okay,
think
so
I think
let's hear your top three.
I think
What's that?
I think this one is easy for you guys to know. For you to know. But my top three, number three comes in the Shenmue series for me.
Oh, I knew that was coming. I wasn't sure if you were gonna go series or if you were just gonna say Shenmue 2 or if you're gonna have Shenmue 1 and 2 in your list or
I had to do the series.
yeah, yeah.
I had to do the series. I I, I first got introduced to this series. I remember I went to a buddy's house. His name was John, and we never went to this guy's house. So we went there one day, and he's like, "Oh, everyone, come in. I'm just in the middle of a game." So we're like, "Okay, whatever." And he was playing this console I'd never seen before. I'd never seen a Dreamcast in my life. Like I had no idea what this was.
What is
And
this
we're
spaceship?
yeah, well, I was like, "What is that?" And he's like, "Oh, it's a Sega Dreamcast." And then he was playing Shenmue 1,
Oh, the first one, yeah.
buddy. I just remember him walking down an alley and a group of characters came, and then it was that cheesy English dub dialogue that just,
Yes,
you know,
yes. There's great NPC dialogue.
yeah. And then there was a character, he had a little band-aid on his cheek, he had spiky hair, he was wearing jeans, he was wearing sneakers, and he had a brown jacket with a tiger on the back. Oh, buddy, and he started whooping everybody's ass. And
Yeah.
I was just sitting there in awe because I was like, what the fuck is this game?" Like I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And I remember he told me it was Shenmue, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?" Years later, I ended up getting a Dreamcast, so I ended up getting it and playing it. And I don't know if you remember Blockbuster. I'm sure you
Oh
do
yeah.
remember
Are you kidding?
Blockbuster.
Are you kidding? I remember my
but
childhood.
but I remember when Blockbuster used to have used games for sale.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was looking through the used game bucket, and they had Shenmue 2 for Xbox for 9.99.
Oh, for original
Yeah,
Xbox.
yeah. I believe it was original Xbox.
Dude,
Yeah, I
yeah.
believe so. And I remember I took a week off work. I mean, a week off school to play it. Yo, buddy,
That-
at the time, we're talking about a game that was so ahead of its time. Like we're talking about a game that brought in, quick time events, and if you didn't get them right, it would alter the course of the story.
yeah,
It
yeah.
would still put you on the main path, but it would alter your way to get there.
Right.
And like the graphics were unbelievable, the
Yeah.
music unbelievable. You
Settings.
know, open world. Like you could gamble, you could work.
Yeah.
They had a 24-hour, hour clock, so it would turn day and night. Like it was just like a human, like it was like a daily life of a normal
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
Oh man, that game.
Well,
But the thing with that game though, it's a hit or a miss. It's either you love it
or you
or you
hate it.
hate it,
Yeah.
right? Like it
Yeah. Because
has
I can
that.
see how it's just too much for some people.
Yeah, for sure, right?
And
Because
and at
it
aspects, it can be hard too.
yeah. Oh, it's very hard because the combat is not just like button mashing. You have to learn the
Oh,
techniques,
yeah. It's
and
like a full out fighting game.
it's a very slow paced game. You kind of got to figure things out. So you got to go talk to this person, and then he'll say, "Oh, you got to go talk to this person." So it's a lot of running back and forth. But
Yeah.
the music in the game is so beautiful. The combat, the storyline is great. But I will say this, even though I'm a big fan and it falls at number 3 on my list, I was very disappointed when they released number 3.
What
We
about it
waited
disappointed you?
well, I waited we waited so long for it.
Almost
And
like 20 years, right? About 20
yeah, and
years.
then when it came out on Kickstarter, I think it broke the record for like the fastest like Kickstarter. Like it surpassed its budget in like no
Right,
time. And
right.
then we're all the fans are expecting to finally end the story. So you're thinking you're gonna finally end the story, and you're playing it,
Right.
and then at the end, you're finally in that room. Landy is right there, and I'm gonna fuck this guy up. Buddy, you hit him with 1-2 punch, it cuts to a credit, and then he leaves. And then now we gotta wait for number 4. Is it ever gonna
No.
Yeah, like, is it ever gonna come out? Like,
Uh,
that's what really pissed me off because, like,
yeah, because
I
you
was
buy it
waiting
expecting a
I was waiting
conclusion.
for it for so long, like all the other fans, and then when
Right,
it finally came out, it didn't deliver that final punch, you know what I mean?
right. They
Like,
you
we're
literally
talking
wait 20 years for closure, and it comes out, and they didn't even attempt you closure.
no, no, and it was like, it took you, like, 20 years to try to come out, and the fans paid for it. The
Yeah,
fans really paid to make that game.
yeah.
You shoulda ended it. I'm assuming they're gonna do another Kickstarter or whatever
I
have
don't.
you, but
It
they shoulda ended it, like
pick up as probably won't catch the Kickstarter probably won't catch on like it did last time after that.
no,
Then
that's it, 'cause there's a lot of people disappointed, but, like,
they probably
when number 1 came out, it was the most expensive game ever made. Like, I think it was around, like, the 45 million mark.
right. I remember you telling me that. Yeah.
Yeah, because the street like, the environment all matches what it actually looks like in China and Japan.
Yes. Yeah.
It's an incredible game for anyone out there that loves retro games, and you can get your hands on, an Xbox or a Dreamcast, jump in the Shenmue 1 or 2. Even if you have the newer consoles, you can get the 1 and 2 package. It's a it's it's a great game. It's gonna be difficult. It's gonna frustrate you. The quick time
Yeah.
events are gonna make you fucking wanna throw your controller. But I'm telling you, man, it's a mind-blowing experience. It's a wonderful, wonderful game, man. And tune into the anime that was released last year. It's phenomenal.
Oh, is that right? I wasn't even aware of that. Is it a
Yeah,
series
yeah,
or a movie?
yeah. No, it's a series. So it's running through like the video game storyline.
Nice.
I don't know if it's gonna get get another season. But if they end up ending it like that, and we get to see it throughout the anime how it ends, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Because
at
we
least you get your closure that way through
Yeah,
some venue, if not the games, at least the show, right?
yeah, we definitely need closure. But that's a game that a lot of people sleep on, but it's fantastic.
That is a
It's
fantastic game.
it it's beautiful,
It's
man.
one
You
of
know
those
when that
games
game.
where you play that and you have to appreciate when it was released. We were talking about like the detail of like a Red Dead Redemption, but that
Yeah,
game came out so long, 2 decades before, and it's like
yeah,
you walk into a building, you can open every friggin' drawer in the
yeah,
closet and cabinets and
yeah.
go out and order food. Like it's wild.
Yeah, you can talk to anybody. The only thing I wish you could do is more character customization. Like I wish you can get more outfits for them, like
Right.
little things like that that would like set it aside instead of just being
Yeah.
like the same
I
old
wish
thing. But
you could use
it's
those little Sonic toys that you can collect and just like
yeah,
whip them at dudes or use them as a weapon or something. Have some use
yeah,
for them.
but it's beautiful and it has so many Easter eggs in it. There's so many
Yes.
Easter eggs in that game. So I'm telling you, anyone out there that wants to get into a series that's going to be challenging and it's going to blow your mind, jump into Shenmue. I'm telling you. That falls at number 3 on my list, buddy.
Yeah,
Number
that's
3.
good choice. And now, like really, we were saying how hard it was to get your hands on it before, and being a Dreamcast game. But now anybody can play it on Xbox, and I'm sure on PlayStation it's probably available as well. Eh?
Yeah, like I remember when I was watching E3 and I saw that little leaf fall and the music hit, buddy. My heart sank and my eyes started to water, and I'm like, I knew what it was.
The boyhood dream has come true. Abdul.
Yeah. And then I was disappointed. And then you're disappointed, man.
And the
But
disappointment.
what are you gonna do, man? What are you gonna
Yeah.
do? All right, let me hear it, man. Let me hear number three.
Okay, my number three. Well, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on my number three because we've already addressed it already. But my number three was Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, okay, okay.
I mean, I'm not even a huge RPG guy, but like this game literally took over my life for like a year and a half. I used to work like really when this game came out, I was working really early morning shifts, so I'd like have to get up for work like 2 a.m. and I'd be home by like noon every day. And man, I would get home at noon and with nothing to do, and I would literally just click on this game, play this game for hours and hours. Like I was saying before, just hunt for hours, collect stuff, just totally immerse myself in the game. I of any game that's come out in the last like 10, 5, 10 years, it's probably my favorite game.
No,
So
yeah,
yeah, I'm
like
always
that
oh,
game is like we said, man. That game is fucking fantastic.
yeah, yeah,
Like you're talking about it, I'm talking about how did it not win game of the year?
yeah. It's pretty insane to me.
Right.
Like,
Like
yeah. I mean,
God
I
of War.
can't really say because I know God of War is a great game. I'm not a PlayStation guy, so I haven't played them, so it's hard for me to say. But like, yeah, I
It
mean, I
doesn't
was gonna
it doesn't
say,
compare. I'm telling you, man. I beat
yeah,
God of War. I beat everything in it. I got all the trophies, buddy. It's no, it doesn't
I can't
compare to Red
imagine.
Dead 2, man.
I feel like young people have like a bias against it. Like, I feel like young people just don't dig like the Western vibes. Like, they
Yeah.
don't like
Well,
the cowboy thing, and
what's your opinion though on open world games? Because like I know every game is getting to that now, but you know when you first start the game and you look at the map, and you're like, holy fuck, how am I gonna beat this game? Like this is gonna
yeah,
take me forever. Like, is it overwhelming for you? Does it turn you
it,
off from the game
it
or?
definitely can be. I think it really comes down to how well of a job they do on it. Because like that game, like yeah, it's like it was so much, and you like you said, you see the map in the beginning, and it's massive, and there's just unlimited places to go. And with that game, I it didn't feel daunting. I was excited about that. But other games, yeah, I see it, and I'm like, oh, am I gonna fit this in between having a fiance and having a job?
Well, that's it, right? But like again, like you can do anything in that game.
Yeah.
Like you can do so much creative shit in that game. It's incredible, man.
And you're talking about Easter eggs with Shenmue, ton crazy Easter eggs with Red Dead. That's just a given with
Yeah,
Rockstar, though, I guess.
yeah.
Mm.
Rockstar is fantastic. You know what game they have to remake? Bully. They have to make another
Oh,
Bully.
holy! It's
Yeah,
just such a the. I feel like the topic in recent years has just become like just the concept of it. I feel like turns people off just because I don't know the society we live in now, or just a little like too much for people to handle just the concept of bully.
yeah.
But again, you can still kill hookers in GTA, so
Even
maybe not.
it almost fell in my top five, but it'll fit in my top 10. But the Warriors, I believe Rockstar.
Ooh,
Did the Rockstar develop the Warriors?
I think you might be right about that, actually. Shoot,
Yeah,
I can't remember. Man,
I
if
want to.
if David would have been here, that would have been David's top five.
Yeah, because like that game sent me on a man. Remember, I couldn't get. I would go around with the spray can around Innisfil and put the W. I'd be spray painting billboards and putting the W up. Oh my god, that movie and that game is fucking amazing. But that's what we're saying. Top five is so hard because all those great games don't make the list.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's crazy. But so far I'm liking our list. I think it's a fair list. I think everyone that plays video games would enjoy what we've said so far.
I think so. Yeah, I think I might offend people with my next one, or not offend people, but people will just think I'm an idiot.
I
But
want to I want to say I know one of your next two, but I don't want to say it if I don't want to ruin it.
I think
But
you. I think you do know. I think you do know.
I want to
But yeah,
say
before we get to that, we'll get to Chris's number two.
my
Wait,
number
first,
two
Are you drinking Mountain Dew right now?
lowers your sperm count, right?
Sure you don't have any more twins, eh?
No more twins, man.
No, I was gonna say you're drinking Mountain Dew, and I'm the one that's the stoner.
No more twins. One set's good enough, man.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, that was growing up too, though, right? It was the rumor that it lowered your sperm count,
Was it that,
and
or was
then
it or 7 Up, or probably all of them?
no,
It
I
was
think it
probably the
was
real
Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew would lower your
Mountain
sperm
Dew.
count, and then
Ooh.
eating raw noodles would put worms in your stomach.
A lot of kids did that with those Mr. Noodle packs when we were a kid. They eat those things
Yeah,
dry.
just
It's
crush
really
it up,
weird,
put the
actually, when I
sauce
think
in
about
there.
it.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Before we get on sidetracked by Mountain Dew conversation,
Where's our sponsor? I want a Mountain Dew sponsor right now. I don't want that. No, get that off. Get that. Come on, man.
I don't like those guys, but man, these things are delicious. Seriously.
I don't.
Like, they got the one that they got the red, blue, white one, and it tastes just like a Rocket Freezy, like or not Freezy popsicle.
Okay, it does, hey?
So good, so good.
I'll have to try it. I don't want to support them though.
Yeah, I totally understand. If it wasn't so tasty, I would never even. But anyway, okay. Chris Abdul's number 2.
Oh, number 2. We're getting there, eh?
Drum roll.
This one's pretty easy. If you guys watched the last video, you know it has to fall in my category, and that's the original Pokemon series.
Yeah.
Endless upon endless of hours playing those games. There's not much else I can say. Like we talked about it in the last video, but like
you're saying red, blue, and yellow, right? That's what you mean by that.
Just amazing, unbelievable. As a kid, to go through that adventure, make it to the elite, and then what can you
so
say?
Satisfying being Elite Four.
What can you say else? Like for our generation.
Was that the first RPG? Sorry, you go.
No, but for our generation, that was the number one game.
Yeah.
If you were going on a long drive, you had your Game Boy and you had Pokemon.
Yeah.
Right? And like I don't know if it's just me or it's just nostalgia or what, but I find Pokemon looks the best when you play it on a Game Boy Color.
I can see that.
I don't know why. I don't know if it's just a feeling.
Nostalgia. And the Game Boy, that doesn't have a built-in light either, right? No.
No, but my favorite
you need a light for that.
Yeah, my favorite Game Boy is the SP, but like when you just play it on the Game Boy Color, it just feels perfect, man.
In your hand and stuff.
Yeah, it just feels perfect, man. No, but number 2 falls those original Pokemon games. Yellow was amazing too when you put it in and Pikachu's following you. It was just like, yeah, it was just like the TV show. Like we can spend another 3 episodes talking about Pokemon.
Right? Yeah, just those games even.
Yeah, like that has to fall in my top 5, and that falls at number 2, man. The original Pokemon series, I love it. I still play it to this day. And I'll always once a year put it in and play it endlessly, and then I'll put it away and then I'll pull it back out. But you know what was great about those games, and it's what's missing nowadays because everything's online. You remember when you would go to the store, purchase a game, first thing you do, what do? You flip the back and you read the back of the game.
Yeah.
Then you open it up. You look at the disc, you see what kind of, designs on it. And then there's that magic book right beside it. And
Great
you would pull out the booklet, and the whole car ride home, you're reading it.
Yeah.
Like they don't have that anymore. And it's a shame. No. It's a shame because those are the little details that like retro gamers miss, like nowadays it's like I got the new Xbox console. I didn't go for the crazy expensive one, but I have it when it's digital download. So I have to just download everything digitally. It has no disc tray.
Yeah.
And like even when you buy a game in the store now, it has no booklet. It has a little thin paper that says download the booklet.
Like some little extra gun or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame. But yeah, man. getting back on topic. Number two for me, original Pokemon series, without a doubt, man.
Was
Without a
that the
doubt.
first? Because it was for me, I'm pretty sure. But was that the first RPG you ever played?
No, because I remember playing like we can count a Link to the Past as an RPG,
Yeah,
right?
100%, 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I remember playing that. Um, there was a few other ones. Mario RPG I played.
Oh yeah, you played that when you're young, eh?
Yeah, well,
So,
remember Nick had all the Nintendos, right?
right, right. So you had the
Nick,
Super Nintendo
yeah,
house and stuff.
Nick had all those things. So like, I would jump into it, but I wasn't a hardcore gamer because I just love playing with my wrestling toys, right? So like,
Oh, oh.
that's really that's really what I did was just play
Get
with
on that
wrestling
topic
toys.
on a future episode, wrestling and
But
wrestling toys.
yeah, but the Pokemon series was like the first RPG I think a lot of kids
Yeah,
fell in love with, right?
I think it was for me. It would have had to been that or Ocarina of Time because I didn't get Pokemon right when it was new, so it was one of the
Yeah, but
two though.
there's a difference though. Like, are we talking about like turn based? Because turn
True.
based games like Pokemon's one of those first turn based games. I think people were kind of like, oh, I don't mind this, but when they were
Right.
playing like
Right.
yeah, like
It
when
had
you're playing like a
yeah, it could
real turn
appeal to
based
people that
game,
didn't play those games.
yeah, because it
Yeah.
would turn a lot of people off because a lot of people like the hack and slash, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so
We
I think
mentioned we mentioned Knights of the Republic earlier. That's why I remember so many people. I would be like, "This game's amazing," and as soon as they found out that it was like turn based, they no interest. Like,
yeah, it turns a lot of people because it slows down the gameplay, right? But
yeah,
I don't I
yeah.
don't think I don't think anyone found that about Pokemon.
No, no, because
No.
it just fits perfect with the theme of the story and how the Pokemon combat with each other. It just works out perfect that you're giving the instructions to your Pokemon to battle. Like
Yeah,
it
it's
translates perfect to the turn base.
it's a thing of beauty. Those
It
three
is.
are
It is.
those three are a thing of beauty, man. Pick them up,
Oh,
go fucking play them. Don't
you
play
know what
that
I
new
wanted?
shit. Go play the old shit.
I wish we would have mentioned in our Pokemon episode. It was one of my favorite little things in those original Pokemon games. I guess it's a glitch, or whatever. The Masingo glitch. Remember the
Yeah,
Masingo glitch? Oh my
yeah, oh
god,
yeah.
Masingo. He's like the.
I
I remember I used to call him the 153rd Pokemon or 152nd Pokemon or whatever.
I remember I remember I did it and I caught a level 136 Marowak.
Yes, yes, you get 136. Was it always a Marowak or would it just be like random, like
I always got Marowak. I got Marowak and
a
then
Marowak?
the missing no. And then there was like some
Yeah.
rumor if you caught the missing no, your game would freeze and it would like fucking lose all
I
your
had
money.
had it. There was one
Oh,
time when I was playing Red and I had it and it did like mess up my whole game.
oh, did it really?
Yeah, only happened one
Okay.
time. I mean, I caught that thing a million times. I mean,
Yeah.
the main with it was that rare candy hack, right? You would put your rare candies in like a certain slot in your item thing, and then when you would run into that, it would automatically like make the
Yeah.
quantity like 100 or whatever.
Yeah, there was also one we used to do for master balls. You would put it in, you transfer it into the PC, and then right when it said saving don't turn off power, you would turn it off. So what would happen was
Oh,
when you turned it back on, you would have your master ball still in your item, but then it would also be one in the PC.
right. I
Yeah,
could
so
see that could be risky too, maybe because that could potentially corrupt your save file, right? Turning it off during the save
no,
or turn it
I did it so many times,
not
man.
saving here. Right,
That's
right.
that's how I caught all the legendaries, no problem.
Right. Oh man,
Yeah.
because you get really lucky with ultra balls on those things, and sometimes it's just such a pain in the ass.
There used to be this thing like, 'cause do you remember a website? I think it was called Code Genie.
Yes, yes.
Code Genie, and they had cheats, and they said what you do is when the Pokeball is bouncing one, two, you hold down B and down on
Yeah.
the pad. I used to do that all the time, and it would catch every Pokemon. So I don't know if it just worked,
I always just
or
thought that was something cool.
yeah, I don't know if it worked, but I still do it to this day. So
Are you
I still do that.
are you a tapper too? Would you tap every time you like did a tap? I'm a tapper. Like every time I do attack, I'm like tapping the button because I remember just as a kid hearing like, oh, if you tap during your attack, it's a better chance to get a critical hit. and I've
Is
just
that it?
always done that.
I don't, I don't, I don't, I
I
don't.
have no idea.
I think I tap, but not very like fast. I think it's just like a normal press. That's
Right,
all I do.
right.
Because that's the same thing in like Street Fighter. They say when you're doing your special to keep tapping the buttons and it does more damage. I don't know if it's true or not, right?
Yeah, yeah. Who knows? Who knows? We've been playing these
But
games for 20 years and we still don't know. So,
no. But look at that. We just went on like a 15-minute convo about Pokemon again.
a Pokemon, yeah.
Yeah. So
We've
like
we've
my
got
number
like
two, my number
almost a
two is verified, man. It's verified.
Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Can't go
What's
wrong
your
with
number?
that.
Let me hear number two. I want if this game does the game in my head, if it doesn't make your list, I'm gonna be fucking
I
mad.
think this is where I dropped the game you're thinking of. My number two all time, Madden
Oh
from the
no,
year.
I wasn't thinking that.
No, oh, well, then it's probably number one. Then my number
Uh,
two, Madden, and specifically from the years 2004 to around 2008. That era of Madden.
okay.
Any game, there's no game I have played more in my entire life. And I mean, this is where I feel like I turn off all the video game fans. An obsessed sports game fan. I have played. I have spent more time in Madden fantasy drafts than I have played any other game. Probably, like it is disturbing the amount of hours I have put into.
You do love Madden, man.
Oh my
Fuck.
god! And the getting older and that game becoming completely unplayable as time has gone on has left such a void in my life. Like as a kid, going and getting that game every year, not even caring that they were giving you the same freaking game, just wanting that roster update. And for years, and then after the game started to go downhill, like after into the 2010s and stuff, I still kept buying it, convincing myself, nah, they're gonna get together eventually. It just kept getting worse and worse to the point now where it's just completely unplayable.
Oh,
But at the
fuck.
same time, it makes me love and appreciate those old ones even more.
I I wasn't. I'm not into the football games too much, but I did
Football
play.
guy.
I don't remember this. I remember this game. It came out for the original Xbox. It was
I
NFL
know exactly.
Fever. NFL
Oh,
Fever. Do you remember that?
I remember Fever. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
Fever. I thought you were gonna say 2K5 with TO on the cover.
2K. What do you think? Who's better at making sports games, 2K or EA?
Well, for football, what I mean, like I said Madden because of how much I played it, and this is really bad because I'm literally saying how Madden's my second favorite video game of all time. But like personal biases out of the way, the NFL 2K05 is the greatest football game ever made by a mile. Um, they've done a better job of NBA. I don't have much experience with their NHL.
I used to play their 2K NHL. I don't think they make it anymore, but I liked EA better. I thought EA made a better NHL
Yeah.
game. 2K
Um,
they introduced a lot of cool things though. They do have a lot of different things
oh,
EA doesn't
absolutely.
do. But I find now every game you buy, it's either by EA or Ubisoft. Like it's like the same fucking
Yeah.
brand. Like there's
I
nothing
kind of
different
hate
now.
all these companies too. Like I feel like as time's gone on, these companies have gotten bigger. They've just gotten lazier and lazier.
It's just a money grab.
Yeah, this in the sports games
Fuck.
is the worst aspect of it because they don't care what product they're giving out. They're just putting something out there for microtransactions,
Yeah.
um, and they know people will buy it because people get hyped up during the season for whether it's NBA, NFL, NHL, whatever. They know people will buy them. They know people will play online. They know people will purchase a bunch of fucking coins.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's it, right? It's anything to get the money now, man. Like even when I go into Walmart or something, the kids our age are buying up all the sports cards and stuff. I'm like, holy fuck! Like I get
yeah,
like the Pokemon cards and stuff, but I didn't think sports cards were like such a big thing. But it's huge
yeah.
still.
It kind of
Like
weirds me out a little bit. Like it's almost like gambling for minors, almost like.
yeah, well, I think in some European countries they actually ban those things. Like you can't
I can see it.
you can't buy the chess because kids were using their parents' credit cards and just spending
Right,
thousands of dollars, right?
right.
So it's
Yeah,
scary.
it's a strange business model that they have. That's for sure. It really does like it really dances on that line of gambling and toys. Like,
But like because I'm not a big Madden fan. I know you kind of touched on it a little bit, but what makes the newer games like just so bad? Like,
The
is
new
there like,
games are everything in the game is animation based. You have very little control over your actual guy's movement. Everything is like a predetermined animation, basically. Not to mention,
okay,
it just is a really poor simulation of football. Like you could strategically pick a play that should absolutely shut down this other team, or vice versa, and it just does not play out the way it should. Like the AI doesn't work. The players don't do what they should be doing. They don't move to the ball the way they should. Like the CPU takes bad angles at the ball carrier and stuff like that.
oh, fuck.
It's just a horrible game, to be honest. And that's
Yeah.
why I brought up that 2K NFL game, because it's literally 2K05, and it is so much better than what they're currently putting out for Madden. Like it's honestly embarrassing, to be honest. Like
So is it like super glitchy?
Madden, yeah, Madden's so glitchy. Madden's been so glitchy for like
Is it as
at
bad
least
as a UFC
2 years.
game? Jesus.
I would say worse than in the UFC game, honestly. I played a game against Kyle one time where he beat me like by like 60 points because it just kept glitching out, and literally every single kickoff, my guy would fumble the ball no matter what, and he would return it for a touchdown no matter what. Like it was just like, and there's times where like you'll be playing and like your punter is their quarterback random. Like there's some weird glitches that go on in Madden.
So let me ask you though, how many times have you smashed your controller playing that Madden?
I'm not really a controller smasher, to be honest. I'm trying to think.
Motherfucker, I seen you. I
Yeah.
seen you do it before.
I'm more of a turn off the console, I think. But I
Yeah.
have turned off the console. The worst thing with Madden is like you're having like you want to have like this perfect game with your quarterback. You're in the fourth quarter. You got a great quarterback rating, and you make one stupid play and throw an interception and ruin the whole thing.
Fuck. I don't know.
Anyways, I won't bore anybody anymore with sports game talk.
No,
What?
that's okay, man. It fall like you said, like we said, put your top five at the bottom. There's no right or wrong answers. What you enjoyed, playing,
Absolutely, yeah,
right? It's all personal preference, right?
yeah. I'm a shameless Madden fan. What can I say?
We're here. We finally made it. Almost
Yeah, number
almost
one.
an
So
almost an
why don't
hour
you?
in.
Yes, much longer than our Pokey podcast. We're really
Yeah.
gonna be like how we hadn't really decided length of episode, but it seems like maybe hour episodes for some stuff, eh?
So fuck.
I mean, if
I
David was
gotta
here,
go.
holy hell, we'd be going for 2 hours.
Yeah. I gotta go to work tomorrow, you know?
I got an interview tomorrow.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I
Oh
probably shouldn't say
shit.
that. And I don't think any of my employers are watching right now. My current employers watching, so I think I'm good. But
Yeah, I got like a 16, 17 hour shift tomorrow, so fuck, we'll see.
oh shoot. Well, at least we're at number one now. Why don't you give a
Yeah, let's get it.
recap your top five before you give our
Yeah,
number one?
so my number five was Red Dead Redemption 2. Number four, Halo 3. Number three, the Shenmue series. Number two, the original Pokemon series. And now at number one, should I go ahead and say it?
Drum roll.
Okay, I know this game was already spoken for today. I don't give a shit. I don't care how many times it gets re-released. I don't care how many consoles it's been out on. It is the best game I've ever played. It's the best game I've ever witnessed being played. It's the best music of any video game of all time, and that is The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Hands down. I know it's on everyone's list somewhere, and it happens to fall at number one for myself.
Yeah.
This game blows your fucking mind. Like it
Yeah,
doesn't
it's not.
matter. It doesn't matter how many times it gets remade. It's still fucking amazing. I
Yeah,
remember. I'm not even kidding. I can recall the first time I've ever seen this game being played, and I remember Nick had it, and I was in his bedroom, so he wouldn't let me in his bedroom, so I had to knock on the door, like, "Oh, can I come see what you're doing?" So I went into my brother's room, and he was playing Ocarina of Time. Oh my goodness, the music! Anytime you think of Ocarina of Time, the music just starts playing in your head,
yes. I
right?
always think of the village, the music in the village.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't even matter. It just plays in your head regardless.
Yeah.
And what blew my mind as a kid, I was watching him play it for hours, and then I'd leave and I'd come back the next day, and then Link would be older, he would be bigger, he had grown up, and I'd never seen that in a video game that the character actually grows up
With the
through
story.
progressing through the story. Man, that game is fucking unreal. I don't know what else to say about it, man. We all know how good it is. We all know
Oh,
how we all know how difficult it is without fucking, a walkthrough book or something, right? But
the water temple. Oh, the water temple.
no, but like the things you could do in that game, it was open world to a point. You know,
Yes.
had a badass villain. The graphics were gorgeous. The music is phenomenal. The story mode's great. The challenges are hard. You know,
And
it
great.
it's the perfect fucking video game. Like
Yeah, yeah.
we're talking about coming from, NES, Super Nintendo, 16-bit to that gorgeous art,
It's
man.
true. A lot of games didn't transition that well from this. Like I know a lot of people didn't like how Donkey Kong transitioned to
Yeah,
64 and stuff like that. But man, nobody can deny how awesome Zelda is on 64.
yeah, it's my favorite game of all time, and it always will be. It will always be a lock at number. I don't care what game comes out here or there. I don't care about any. I don't care about Majora's Mask. I don't care about any other Zelda game. This
Majora's
one,
Mask.
this one is just fucking beautiful, man.
Majora's
I,
Mask is kind of it's a decent game too, though.
yeah, it is good, but the
It's
first one hit
forgotten.
the
Yeah, it's
Ocarina of
not
Time hit.
in the same class. Yeah,
Yeah, Ocarina of Time hits home for everybody. Like
yeah.
just your
For
first memory,
Master
your
Sword
first
out.
memory to playing that game is fucking crazy. Like what a
Yeah,
what a game, man. I don't like there's not much else I can say about how great this game is. If
but
you
we were
haven't
talking about.
if you have not played this game, get out there and fucking buy it. It's on like every Nintendo console because it keeps getting remade because it's that fucking good. Go out and buy it.
Yeah, it's like the equivalent of being a music fan and never hearing the Beatles. Like this is
Yeah.
like a must. A must.
So
I
that's my top five. That's my top five.
can't beat that. I mean, that's a good number one right there. Well, I know we
That's,
were talking about open worlders earlier and stuff, and I feel like in if you enjoy them, if they're too daunting, I feel like that's a great level of open world. It gives
yeah,
you all the feeling of openness, but really it's still a very linear game. But you
yeah,
still feel like you can do whatever. Like
yeah. It's it's art, man.
yeah, it's an
It's
incredible
simply
game.
it's simply art. But if you're gonna play it, make sure you get a walkthrough guide. So I'm
Yeah.
saying.
God, the guide was amazing. Do you remember the book? Not the book with the game, but like the handbook that you buy separately. Did you?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I had to buy one. I had to buy
yeah.
one because when I got to the water temple, I couldn't beat it.
I'm seeing the water
I couldn't beat it.
temple.
Oh, you're
God
stuck
damn
in
water
there.
temple.
You're stuck in there, man.
Ugh,
All right,
ugh.
let me hear it.
Right.
Recap yours, man. Let me hear that number one.
Okay, to recap mine, at number 5, we had Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Number 4, Star Wars Battlefront number 2. Number 3, Red Dead Redemption 2. And at number 2, Madden from 04 to
Okay.
08.
What's number one? Let me hear it.
Number 1, I think this is the one you've been expecting. I'll give myself a little drum roll. The Mass Effect trilogy.
Oh no, I wasn't.
No, what were you thinking? What were you thinking?
I'm I was thinking Wave Race.
Oh! You thought we were just going to be number 1?
No, I thought it was at least gonna be in your top five.
Just because I'm one of the top 5 greatest wave racers of all time doesn't mean it's one of my favorites.
Well, I knew Mass Effect was gonna be there, but I was hoping for
Oh
Wave
yeah,
Race.
it's not for me. Like it's, I mean, it's probably how you feel about Zelda. Like I literally see like there's the video games I played, and then there was Mass Effect. Like I had never played anything with such fleshed out characters. I was completely obsessed with the story. And again, like Zelda, it's a game that gives you the feel of open world with a very linear story that keeps you on a linear story arc. So it's you never lose interest. Like you're always hooked on
Yeah,
what's going to happen next in the
your
plot and
your
how you're going to
fucking
interact with
your
characters.
sister also got into it too, didn't she?
Oh my god, yeah, my whole family, my sister's obsessed with it, my brother's obsessed with it. I think my brother was what got me into it, and then me, my sister Ashley, and then David and Gervais, the two
Yeah,
brother boys. We all played it all around the same time. Played through it
I
all.
was I was the only one that never played it.
You played a bit of one, didn't you?
Yeah, I didn't like it.
One is definitely has like aged the worst, like combat wise. Like one is pretty clunky in the shooting and stuff like that. They cleaned it up a lot in two, and then by three, it's actually a pretty fun game. It feels almost like Gears of War
I'm
almost the
not.
combat.
I always wanted to give it another retry because like everyone talks about, like you guys were raving about it, right?
Yeah,
So I wanted to give it another a retry, but I never got back to it. So maybe
yeah.
one day I'll retry it again. But
It's hard for me because I'm so biased. I love it so much, but like I feel like I can maybe see like there's games with better stories maybe, but I can't imagine that there's video games that have better, more fleshed out characters than Mass Effect. They just do characters so well in that game, and all your interactions with them, and how how your relationships with them change what happens and affects the game. It's just an incredible game.
yeah, like
Um,
it's one of those games too that has a big cult following, right? And like it's one of those. It's either you love it or you hate it. It's just
yeah,
like it's just like Shenmue. Like it's funny with Shenmue. Like when it number three was coming out, I pre-ordered it.
right.
So when I pre-ordered it, I asked my brother one day, "Hey, after work, can you go pick it up for me and just drop it off?" So he's like, "Yeah, no problem, whatever." Because like I thought it was gonna be busy for the pre-order, right? And he went in
Right.
there, and he talked to the guy. He's like, "Did this game get a lot of pre-orders?" And the guy at EB going, "Man, you're the only one that pre-ordered it." So it's like
Oh,
it's one of those. It's like one of those things, right? That it's like you love it or you hate it, right? Now,
yeah.
I just
Well,
I just didn't get into Mass Effect, but I'm not saying it's a bad game, right?
yeah,
Just like
no.
if
If you get, I think if you got to number two, you would be hooked. Number two, it just from there on
what
out,
was
it's just
what was the newer one called? Because I heard a lot of bad
yes.
things about it.
That's what I was gonna bring up. That's what really like I kept thinking of the new one when you were talking about Shenmue three, Mass Effect Andromeda. It's the game. It was the one that came out for the last console or whatever, and so it happens after the original trilogy. And man, I was so hyped for that game. I got it. I honestly tried to give it a fair go. I freaking love Mass Effect. I never even finished it. Mass Effect's my favorite game of all time. I never even finished it, and just wasn't the same. It's not the same. They just could. They
Wasn't
didn't do
good,
the
eh?
characters the same way. The plot wasn't as strong, and it's like if you don't have the characters in Mass Effect, you don't have nothing.
Yeah. Well, that's it,
Like
right? If it's a heavy base story game, like man, that's
let's see,
crazy.
you see David's commented. He said, "I never finished it either."
Yeah, yeah. And like I said, like you guys just talked about that game endlessly when you guys were playing it.
Yeah, yeah. We haven't
Was
even
it?
got into how you can have sex with so many different people in Mass Effect. You
That
can
was
fuck
like
aliens,
what
chicks, dudes, whatever you're into.
what was the hype for that one? Was there like massive hype around it?
Andromeda, I don't think so. I don't think it was as hyped. I think just because it's not the same storyline protagonist, people are so connected to Shepard, the protagonist of the first one, and those crew members that I think when people knew that those characters weren't going to be in it, I mean, I was less excited because of it. I think most fans probably were. I mean, it was interesting to see like a new story in their universe, but can never live up to the original three.
Yeah, but that's the thing with hype games, right? I remember Cyberpunk. Man,
Oh
was I hype! Man, was I hype for that game.
yes,
I like
yes,
I had to beat it when I bought it, but fuck, was it ever bad?
yeah. And talk about
Fuck.
glitchy. Eh?
And same with Fallout, the new Fallout. What was this?
Oh, is that
Fucking
right?
76. I pre-ordered it. My buddy at work
Oh
was like,
yeah,
"Yeah, you have to get it. You have to get it." So I'm like, "All right." So we pre-ordered it, went to pick it up, and holy fuck, was it shit?
It's terrible that they can release broken games nowadays. Like
I think
I
what
say
it is,
nowadays, but I
man,
guess they used to do it back in the day too.
it's just the media just gives it so much hype, right? That it just can't live up to expectations.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
What chances it had? It's like if they tried to make a sequel to Superman 64. I mean, what chance would they have to live up to that?
Hey man, Shaq Fu had a sequel.
Shaq Fu is. Oh, you're right. It did recently, right? Oh man, I like the original Shaq Fu. So.
Was there any, like was there any games you're surprised that didn't make the list?
uh,
Like I like speaking just in general, because like I said, the top, for me from 4 to 15 was a toss up. Like
yeah, yeah.
there's a lot of games I could have filled those voids, but like
Give me five honorable mentions.
how you gonna do that to me right now, man?
You don't have to order anything. Just five ones that you at some point considered
Yeah,
maybe.
for me for sure. Easily was gonna be a Def Jam Fight for New York.
Yeah, that would be one of mine. That would be one of mine.
That had to fall there. Oh my goodness, that I love that game. The
Did
Warriors.
you see David? He just put Super Mario Sunshine Super Monkey Ball.
This guy putting all this stuff. I sent in his email the link.
David, you need to comment your top five, and we'll just say your top five at the end.
But yeah, the
Yeah,
Warriors.
go on.
The Warriors would have fell in there.
Warriors.
Um, what was I saying before? I I don't know if it would have fell in there, but it would have been close. Raw 2.
Ooh,
Raw,
Raw 2. You have that
Raw
over
2.
here campaign, eh?
Yeah, because I had an Xbox. I didn't have a PlayStation.
Yeah, that's me too. I got Here Comes the Pain later on.
And I had a lot of good memories playing Raw 2, man.
Yeah, me too. It was a bit of a glitchy game. Remember you like literally couldn't win the ladder match?
Yeah, because you fucking have to throw the guy out of the ring and fucking toss him up the ramp and shit, and then run back
Yeah,
in and try to win it quick.
yeah.
I remember I was going through with my brother, and I was playing as Kevin Nash, and
Oh
I
man, he did
I
not have
was
a good overall in that game.
no, I was the champion though, right? And then I had to face Trish Stratus, so I'm like, oh, whatever, and she beat me.
Intergender. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, she beat me.
I played through that game. My brother used to play as Jericho, and I used to play as Benoit. So yeah, so you got Def Jam, Raw 2. What was the other one?
The Warriors. I got Ghost of Tsushima. That game's phenomenal for play.
I've always wanted to play that.
Buddy, that was gonna be my top 5, but I had to put Red Dead ahead of it.
I'm a big Kurosawa samurai movie fan, and it literally has a Kurosawa mode you can turn on in that.
Yeah, dude, that game is fucking unreal.
Yeah, I've always been so jealous of PlayStation.
There's a lot of great things you can do in that game, man. Like I got all the trophies. I played the shit out of it. Oh, yeah. Buddy, that's a good game, man.
That would probably be in my honorable mentions if I ever played. I literally watched that game. I'm like, I need to play this.
Yeah, obviously, you have the main titles, Super Mario 64.
Yeah, Mario Kart and stuff.
Yeah, Super Smash Bros.
Yeah, Smash.
Yeah, just any game that meant a lot to me growing up. That those were the ones that would fall into my top 15. I don't have my list on me now, or I would name them off, but off my head, those are the ones that would probably make the list. There's a few others, but fuck. You put me on the spot, so now I can't think about it.
Yeah, I didn't have any prepared either, but I would say Def Jam, like you said, and you brought up Wave Race.
I really thought that was going to be on your list, man.
I know it was hard keeping it off. Trust me, it was hard keeping it. NFL, that one I brought up earlier, NFL 2K5, that'd be on mine probably.
How didn't you put Fusion Frenzy?
Oh my god, that'd be on your top 5. You love that game, and then you lost every round of it. Now it's probably on your top 5 most hated games.
Yeah, Fusion Frenzy. That was a great game once you got your Xbox, man. When you got your original Xbox. Oh, also in my top 10 would fall Skyrim.
Party games.
Skyrim.
Skyrim. Yeah, me too. Me too. Me too.
Dude,
Love Skyrim.
I'm gonna have to give a shout out to Skyrim. When I was growing up, everything you fantasized about in a video game came true when Skyrim was released. Like
Yeah.
it was everything a kid that loved fantasy, loved that era of stuff wanted in a video game. And you could do anything. You could play that game. You can still play that game now.
Oh, 100%. I
And
played it. I played it just recently.
yeah, Skyrim for sure would fall in my top 10, man. Like easily.
Game, beautiful
Mortal Com-
aesthetically too.
Also a game that's forgotten. Mortal Kombat Deception. That
Oh, I don't think that one.
that was the first Mortal Kombat that they actually did a story mode. So
Oh,
you would actually go through the story mode and you played at this character called Shujinku or
oh, yeah.
Shujinko.
There's a
Yeah,
set protagonist too.
yeah, like that. It was good, man.
Where do you
That's
have it? Story is its story or Def Jam story?
I'm gonna
It's
have
tough.
to go with man. I love MK, but I'm gonna have to go with Def Jam.
Yeah, man, that story is awesome.
Yeah, because
Sticky
like
fingers kills your girlfriend.
yeah, because just to put like also in that era when we grew up with that 2000s hip hop and you got to dress
All
your
those
character,
rappers.
yeah, and you get to dress your
Yeah,
characters like that, like
it's kind of the
what,
style in the back in the 2000s.
like what were the kind of sayings? I'm gonna rip your tongue out and lick my asshole with it.
Yes, yes, I love all those. Yes, I'm trying to think of all the good. That was the best one though. That's
Yeah, and
Redman.
then what
Redman.
was the other one? What was the other one? Like, I'm gonna rip your eyes out and put them on my knees and call me kneesy or something.
Oh my god, it's terrible.
That was that was a fun game though.
That was a great game. That was a great game.
Yeah, there's a lot of games that like if I would have went back to my list and that would have made it or could have made it or should have made it. But to me, like I said in the beginning, it falls under that criteria of nostalgia and playback. And
Yeah,
the top five there are just games I can put in whenever, wherever,
play
what
anytime.
year,
Yeah,
doesn't matter, and
so
still enjoy it.
your deserted island games.
Yeah, it's still enjoyable for sure.
Well, I think this is a good place to wrap up. I mean, mostly because I really have to pee right now, but
Yeah. Well,
but
we'll
yeah.
be
So
back. We'll be back for next week. I'm not too sure what the topic is. Did you have something in mind?
yeah, I think we were thinking maybe wrestling because of the recent sale of WWE to Endeavor. That might be the top for next week, but we should have it flushed out and posted in a couple days. I'm sure what the topic will be.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about a wrap for today's show. And yeah, so for episode 2 of the Boys Podcast, I guess that's game over.
Thanks for everyone for tuning in. Make sure to put your top five in the comments. We'd like to see them, and we'll see you guys next episode.
All right, see
Have
you
a good
next
one.
week, guys. Bye.